Ilaramoki. Gunmen killed police officer during attack on Enugu INEC office. NSCDC naps POS operator allegedly hired by bandits for financial transactions in Zamfara state. And from the foreign scene, 19 people died in Senegal road crash.
Thank you for joining us on the news tonight. My name is Timile Ifalade. Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has commissioned the National Affordable Housing Delivery Program for Nigerian workers situated in Ilaramoki. At the ceremony, Governor Akeredolu noted that the project will further increase the housing stock of the state, assuring investors of enabling environment. Government House correspondent Olumide Adeluwoye reports that the governor congratulated the people of Ilaramoki, the host community of the housing project, saying it has opened up the community for further development.
Governor Akeredolu, who was the special guest of honor at the event, commended the private investor for buying into his administration's vision to break the housing deficit in the state. The governor stated that the provision for housing is one of the basic rights of a person as stipulated by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 25 of 1948, encapsulated in the 11th point on the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, targeting adequate, safe and affordable housing and basic services to the people.
Provision of housing is a basic right. That means people can come out and gather together and demand from government housing. Basic right. Just you have as you have for government right to education. That's why in UK and other places most people live on government. Nigeria too also has divided. That's why the 11 points on our sustainable development goal targets access to for adequate and affordable housing.
Governor Akeredolu said his administration has embarked on quality housing schemes, some which he said have already been delivered, while others are still under construction under a public-private partnership arrangement.
We, for now, have tried and we have said almost 10 acres of land in major towns across Ondo State should be acquired for the purpose of housing development. Further to that, we have decided to make sure that ease of development of health and affordability of housing units will be supported by the provision of housing loan to an affordable rate to civil servants in the state.
The governor assured investors of government's commitment to providing security and an enabling environment for investors to thrive in the state. The private investor, Mr. Kunle Adelego, who hails from Ileoluji but based in Canada, said the rising population in the country necessitated the need for adequate and affordable housing scheme to complement the state government's efforts at providing quality homes for the citizenry.
It all comes back to the love and passion that I have for my people and the people of Ondo State. Everbright is looking forward to working with the government to bridge the gap and build a community where poor, middle class and rich can live together in same community.
In their goodwill messages, the Jagun of Ileoluji, Oba Olufaderin Adetimehin, and former Commissioner for Works in the state, Mr. Isaac Akinfiresoye, said the project has seen a high level of success as a result of the cooperation and collaboration of the present administration.
The Chinese housing estate open for the use of mankind in the In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
They commended Governor Akredolu for his business-friendly approach, saying they will continue to key into his administration's vision to accelerate the development of the state. Olumide Adeluoye, Osrc News.
Commission these projects today for the benefit of the workers of Ondo State and the generosity of the state. We do this in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
After commissioning, Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, represented by Chief of Staff Olugbenga Ale, was conducted around the facilities of the housing estate. The governor lauded labor union leaders and workers of the state for permitting their reintegration into the National Housing Fund scheme and providing the opportunity for the housing project through the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. He noted that his administration has been able to provide massive infrastructure, including housing, notwithstanding limited resources.
Our policy efforts driven towards the ease of development and the affordability of housing units include, but are not limited to: 1. Provision of housing loan at affordable rates to civil servants in the state. Partnership with private developers through land allocation for housing development. And let me use this opportunity to assure the President of the NLC, because you did request that you want more land for this kind of development project. We can assure you, anytime you come along, you will have enough for whatever project you want to bring to Ondo State.
According to him, the intervention of the federal government for the provision of the housing scheme to workers is a step in the right direction.
It is noted that this program is to ensure affordable housing for the workers in Ondo State. We therefore expect and encourage necessary sacrifices on the part of private developers involved in the process in the area of their profit projections. This will enable the target population to fully participate and benefit from the program.
In their separate remarks, the President of Nigeria Labour Congress, represented by Benson Upa, President of Trade Union Congress, represented by Abdul Malik Akinyegun, and Director General Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, represented by Thompson Akpabi, called on government at all levels to continue to contribute to efforts at addressing housing deficit as well as curtail crime in society.
Consultations must be had with stakeholders at all levels, especially at the level of the state, between the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, the NECA, and FNBN on allocation of these houses.
It is expected that the intervention will further make life better for workers. Olumide Adeluoye, Osrc News.
And now to politics. Members of the Ondo State Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party have passed the votes of no confidence in the state chairman of the party, Fatai Adams. They have therefore asked him to resign forthwith, thereby deepening the crisis within the party in the state. Reacting, the state publicity secretary of the party, Kennedy Perete, who confirmed the development, said members of the State Working Committee met with the leadership of the party and demanded for the removal of the party chairman. A member of the committee who spoke with newsmen after the meeting with the leadership of the party said the chairman lacked the capacity to lead the party to victory in the 2023 general elections. You're still watching Osrc News at 7. We'll take a quick break now. Do stay with us.
A peak protein breakfast gets me to a great day. How do I know? Because my daddy goes to his work feeling good and always with a smile. Mommy is always filled with confidence. My sister is always in tune. And for me, learning new things becomes absolute fun. Because all day and every day, the peak goes on.
Start your day with a peak protein breakfast. Peak. Reach for your peak.
Yesterday I got a call from Glow. I won a 3-bedroom bungalow. won a generator by participating in the Festival of Joy promo by Glow.
Hey, Glow don't do this one for me. Glow to make it set to me. Sewing machine.
I won generator last year. This year I won for her.
It's a celebration like no other, with prizes like no other. 20 new houses to be won, 24 brand new cars, 200 sewing machines, 100 generators, 1,000 rechargeable fans. Glow Festival of Joy promo. Dial *611# now.
You're welcome back. You're still watching Osrc News at 7. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook Osrc TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. No fewer than 3,000 farmers in Akoko Southeast and Akoko Southwest Federal Constituency in Ondo State have benefited from relief materials from the National Emergency Management Agency. The materials were facilitated by the federal lawmaker, Mr. Ade Adeogun, who is representing the area at the House of Representatives. Our correspondent, Zemo Biemi, reports that beneficiaries were the victims of flood which affected their farms. The report is presented from our studios. The 2022 floods, according to research, are the worst in Nigeria since 2012. It destroyed crops in over 500,000 hectares of farmlands belonging to thousands of smallholder and commercial farmers across the country. There were pains and agony as investment and livelihoods of many farmers were washed away within the twinkle of an eye. Farmers in Akoko Southeast and Akoko Southwest were not left out as they were badly affected. Succors, however, come their way as the National Emergency Management Agency has provided relief materials for the farmers as facilitated by Mr. Ade Adeogun, who is representing them at the House of Representatives. The materials distributed include mats, blankets, mosquito nets, cement, farm inputs, food items, among others. Presenting the items, Mr. Adeogun said the need to give the farmers liveliness necessitated the gesture. Represented by Mr. Ayegbusi Olajide, Adeogun said he would always stand in gap for the constituents.
He's been doing all this ever before time. And I want to tell you, even after politics, he's going to continue to do this. Because he's a man that has a large heart. And we will not stop following him, we will not stop giving him our support. Because we have not seen his kind in this federal constituency.
He enjoined the farmers to use the materials judiciously.
But this material must be used for mankind and to glorify God. My advice to the farmer is to ensure that they are apolitical in the sharing of this material.
Beneficiaries said the intervention would go a long way to alleviate their sufferings.
Herbicide contain 12 inside, 312. Then cypermethrin, what we call piperine, away farmer. So we receive nothing less than another 350. So cutlass and all other agricultural tools, just to mention a few. That is last year March. But to my greatest surprise, this was 3 days ago. They sent for us again that we should come. That yearly he had promised to see that the farmer, he had to do something to see that he made the life of the farmer change positively. So and he's on it now.
Nǹkan tí Adeogun ṣe lénìí, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run nítorí ní àti ọdún 4 sẹ́yìn tó ti wà ńbẹ̀ báyìí ló ṣe máa ń ṣe fún àwa àgbẹ̀ láti ìgbà tó ti débẹ̀ làwa ti mọ̀ pé làgbẹ̀ ti mọ̀ pé Adeogun ò try òun náà ń ṣe bẹbẹ ó ń ṣe bẹbẹ Adeogun àdúrà mi ni ti pé k'Ọlọ́run jọ̀ọ́ jàre kó gba gbogbo ògo.
It is hoped more support would be done. It is hoped more support will be done after the floods of 2012 to assist the distressed farmers. Gunmen have attacked the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) office in Enugu South local government area, killing 1 police officer. The resident electoral commissioner for the state, Dr. Chukwemeka Chiku, told a news gathering that the office in Enugu South local government area was attacked by unknown gunmen. INEC National Commissioner Mr. Festus Okoye said in a statement that the incident occurred last night. He added that the security gatehouse was raised, but the attackers could not gain access to the main building as a result of a rapid response from the police and army personnel from the 82 Division. Now, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, has resumed duty after his annual vacation abroad. CBN Director of Corporate Communications, Osita Nwansobi, made this known in a statement. The statement said the Apex Bank Governor resumed with renewed vigor to perform his duty ahead of the first Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the year, scheduled for next week. Meanwhile, the Department of State Services, DSS, said its operatives did not invade the CBN office and did not arrest the Apex Bank chief. DSS spokesman Peter Funaya said in a statement that the information during the rounds that operatives of the agency invaded the Central Bank of Nigeria and arrested its governor is untrue and misleading. In the meantime, the Central Bank of Nigeria, in line with its mandate to promote stability, inclusion and growth in the financial and payment system, has introduced a national domestic card scheme that becomes effective on January 16, that's today, this year. Although the bank is yet to disclose the procurement costs and operational charges, Nigerians will from Monday receive a new electronic card for local transactions that will be charged in Nigeria. The card payment scheme processes payments using debit and credit cards. The card is expected to compete with other debit cards including MasterCard, Visa and Rev cards operating in Nigeria. Educationists have called on government at all levels in Nigeria to prioritize the implementation of a new language policy which mandates the teaching of pupils in primary 1 to 6 in the mother tongue or any language dominant in the area. The call follows recent approval by the federal government for the policy to take effect across the country. Osrc's Sahid Aribisala in this report x-rays the benefits of accelerating this development, possible challenges and recommendations for a successful implementation.
One of the most linguistically diverse countries in the world, with hundreds of languages spoken by 200 million plus people, but practically getting one or any of these languages to be used as a medium of instruction continues to evade the country. However, a recent approval by the Federal Executive Council on a new national language policy for primary schools, which makes mother tongue a compulsory medium of instruction from primary 1 to 6, seems to have awakened the debate. Why have we as a country been unable to get our mother tongues as a means of instruction in schools, and what benefits lie therein among others? Research has shown that education in mother tongue aids inclusion and guarantees quality learning. This, a school administrator, Mrs. Omobola Ojoge, confirmed from a practical experience.
Every Friday we conduct assembly in Yoruba. Then get to classes. I told my staff, if you are teaching them, make sure that, for instance, if you are teaching chemistry, if you talk of elements and you are trying to explain, as you just discuss with them as if you are interacting. Explain in English, Yoruba, English, Yoruba. We discovered that the teaching on Friday is always more interesting than the teachings in other days because of this mother tongue. When teachers get to classes and they begin to blow grammar, some of the students will just switch off.
While countries like China, Japan, Taiwan and South Africa, who use mother tongue to teach science and technology, are ranked higher on the United Nations Human Development Index than Nigeria and others that use foreign languages. A language expert, Iyabo Aladewolu, believes language remains a powerful tool that must not be lost.
It is very easy for a child to do better in foreign languages when the child understands the language of the immediate environment, and it will help our language not to go to an extinction. And we'll not go into another slavery, because if you want to enslave some people, you take their language away from them. It will help us to clamp down vices in the society. And security-wise, if you have voice security, you'll be able to secure your immediate environment.
Though Nigeria's Education Minister Adamu said full implementation will start when federal government develops instructional materials and engages qualified teachers, Ondo State government, through the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Mr. Femi Agagu, said once the coast is clear, the state will key into the initiative.
A journey of 1,000 years starts with a step. That critical first step is taken by the statement of the minister. Let's hope that the system will now begin to work towards it. That you also agree with me that Ondo State is always at the forefront of innovative ideas like this. The government has also issued a directive that on Fridays we should be wearing our native dresses. I mean, things that will move our culture forward. Our state anthem is indigenous.
Despite the loftiness of the move, some educationists call for the training and retraining of teachers.
It will come from the top, I mean working on the syllabus, then taking the teachers for training and retraining. Already we were used, I'm a teacher anyway, we were used to that language, to that theory, to the same method, to everything. Then we need to be retrained, I think, so that to prepare us is a great task anyway.
First of all, we are going to encourage our parents. You know, this public school now, we will not have much challenges. But the private schools, they use English, doing that, go, come. They even believe in that English. Even the people say they can't write, but they also say it offhand. They believe in that. But in a public school, we can do it perfectly. Because we even see that mother tongue will help the pupils. They will help them to reason. Then they will be able to interpret that Yoruba to that English.
The IFE Primary Education Research Project, which was piloted by former Minister of Education, Professor Babs Fafunwa, is an evidence that education through a Nigerian language is possible. Hence, the need to revisit, rework, and emplace lessons therein for future success. Sahira Aribisala, OSRC News.
It has arrested a POS operator simply identified as Mustafa for allegedly hired by bandits for financial transactions. The Zamfara NSCDC Commandant Abu Mohammed Muazu said Mustafa was arrested in Brennan Taba community in Zurmi Council area of the state. He further revealed that 2 POS machines were recovered from the suspect by his team during the stop and search operation. And now to the foreign scene, 19 people were killed today when a bus and a truck collided in northern Senegal, 8 days after a smash-up between 2 buses left 40 dead. Reports say 25 people were injured in today's accident, which occurred near Sekal in the Louga region. In a tweet, President Macky Sall, who described the incident as unfortunate, said it all highlights the need to strengthen highway safety measures. Experts said road accidents are common in Senegal, mainly because of driver error, poor roads, and decrepit vehicles. And now to sports. Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu says the commitment of his administration to sports development remains unwavering. Governor Akeredolu, who reiterated his passion for welfare of Ondo State sportsmen and women, promised to sustain efforts at securing the state and its people. The governor at the opening ceremony of the 21st edition of the Nigerian Polytechnic Games, Nipoga, at the Rufus Giwa Polytechnic Owo, asked the over 3,500 athletes and officials to compete in the spirits of sportsmanship. Joy Pius reports that the biannual sporting event is featuring 39 tertiary institutions, from across the country.
The 21st edition of the Nigeria Polytechnic Games Association, NIPOGA, holding at the Rufus Giwa Polytechnic, Owo, Ondo State, kicked off with the official unveiling of the game's mascot, as well as lightning of the Torch of Unity by Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, represented by the State Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Bamidele Ologun. Thereafter, it was time for the participating institutions to get involved in March past. Rector of the institution and President Nigeria Polytechnic Games, Mr. Gani Ogundaunsi, acknowledged the efforts of Ondo State government towards advancement of sporting activities in the school and the state, adding that the games will further foster unity, especially among youths in polytechnics.
I want to first and foremost appreciate our baby governor, his loving governor of Ondo State, He has been massive for us, he has funded us very well, and in fact he's so passionate about this game. We are most grateful to God, and we are happy to have all this game at least.
Rufus Giwa Polytechnic, Owo, and Federal Polytechnic, Bida, settled for a 1-1 draw in the opening match of the games. Visitor to the school and Governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, represented by the Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Bamidele Ologun, restated his administration's commitment to bringing change to the sports sector through active participation in sporting activities. He urged the participating institutions to abide by the rules of the games.
Mr. Governor is a sport-loving man. He has always been supporting. Don't forget, we just came back from National Sports Festival, where we spent millions of naira, and here we are again. It simply means Mr. Governor loves sports, and he will continue to support us. This is their time, this is their chance, they have to take it. There are other athletes around the world that started this small way, and if they are able to showcase themselves, who knows where they can meet, they can find themselves tomorrow. So this is a platform for them to grow.
The Olawo of Owo, Oba Gbadigeshin Ogunwoye, charged the athletes to demonstrate high spirit of sportsmanship.
That to not only to be part of the game, but to encourage our youth to embrace sports as a means not only for passion but as business, as career in their lives. It's not all about winning or losing. It's all about fostering unity amongst our people in Nigeria, and that oneness, that togetherness, that's what sport is all about.
The games will also feature volleyball, basketball, badminton, tennis, table tennis, Scrabble, soccer, and chess. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Before we go tonight, let's remind you that the Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has commissioned the National Affordable Housing Delivery Program for Nigerian workers situated in Ilaramokin. Gunmen have attacked the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) office in Enugu South local government area, killing one police officer. And the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in Zamfara State has arrested a POS operator simply identified as Mustafa for allegedly hired by bandits for financial transactions. Thank you for watching. Good night.